as comfortable and relaxed as possible. Just imagine this golden ball of loving energy, what I call God's white light, and just imagine that ball of energy going through the bottom of your feet, going past your ankles and past your calves. Continue to bring that ball of energy, God's energy, past your knees and thighs, all the way to your tailbone, turn the color of red. Any tensions, any fears, any upsets, again, just release those energies and just let them go away now. Continuing that ball of energy all over the heart area, or the heart chakra, turn the color of green. Any place in your life where there's lack of love or even absence of love, just replace those energies with love, with unconditional love, and let all other energies go away now. Continuing that ball of energy all over the throat area, turn the color of blue. Anything that was said or wasn't said, any regrets of saying something or regrets of not saying something to someone, just release those energies, release those tensions. Give yourself permission or forgiveness and just let them go away now. And lastly, take that ball of energy all over the forehead, turn the color of indigo, and at this time in your own mind, just send out loving mental thoughts to those on spirit side, and with love, just ask that they'll be here with us today, sending love, protection, and most importantly, guidance. And with that being said, just take that ball of energy straight at the top of your head, and as that ball of energy goes to the top of your head, just imagine it turning into raindrops, going over your shoulders, over your back, over your chest, giving yourself a spiritual cleanse. Okay, wonderful. And you can open your eyes if you haven't already have done so, and we'll go ahead and get started with the sitting here in just a bit. Great. You too, I always like to do that brief prayer, that brief meditation, as I mentioned, just to make ourselves more open, more receptive for spirit. And in today's sitting, when I refer to the word spirit, just those who have made that transition called death. And whenever I use the word transition or use it in the sitting, it's just when I refer to it, just those who have gone from that one doorway to the next. And what I always like to express in my sittings is just as much as you two have chosen to walk to this door to come in and have the sitting, it's been your choice. Same thing for me walking through the same door to give you the sitting, my choice, obviously. However, when we make that transition called death, it's none other than just going from that one doorway to the next, nothing more, nothing less. During today's sitting, when I do come to you with information, I just invite you to say yes, you understand, or even no, you don't. If you say yes, you understand to what I'm bringing through, that's fine. I'll move on with more information, whether I understand or not. If you say no, I don't understand, or it doesn't make sense, or no, Tim, that's just not true, just go ahead and say so, you two. My feelings will be hurt in any way. What I'll do is I'll go back up to that individual and I'll say, no, she or he doesn't understand. Speak more slowly, speak more clearly. Sometimes they might say the exact same thing over again. Sometimes they might change it. But at any rate, I'll give you what I honestly see, feel, and hear. Now, in just a bit, we'll go ahead and we'll start with the sitting. When I focus off the left shoulder, off to the side of either one of you, usually that tells that person comes on your mother's side of the family. And for you, Brinley, there's actually one lady who actually walked in here with you. So we'll get to her in just a bit. And when I look off to the right shoulder, or even off to the right side, that tells me it's on father's side. And for you, Sterling, there's actually one man who comes in here, and he just peeps his hand on the shoulder there with you as he raises his hand. Okay? So probably start with him first. And then when I look behind either one of you, that tells me husband or wife, brother, sister, son or daughter, or friend. There is one male who comes in. I don't know if it's for you, Sterling, or for you, Brinley, but there's one male that comes in who passes young, okay? And when I say young, I don't know how young, okay? But we'll talk about that in a second. And just on a side note, as Jace was singing here during the meditation, there's actually one child that came in and was playing with him, okay? So we'll go ahead and get with that child in just a second. Who the child is, I don't know, but if you think about it, Jace was doing perfectly fine until he started the meditation. And right when we started the meditation, there's actually one child that started playing with him, started tugging on his arm. Okay, and we'll get to that in a bit. One other thing I want to say before we get started is this: I have no control who comes in and who doesn't. Any person or any medium who says they do have that ability or that control is something not true. Isn't it interesting what he's pointing at? This is amazing. I'm so glad you brought him in, because what's going on here is this man just walks right past me and goes right over here to you, Sterling. And I'm going to start with you first, if that's okay. Yeah. Okay. He stands on your father's side of the family, keeps his hand right here, and then he keeps his hand raised. And when he has his hand raised, he says, "Thank you for inviting me in." And then he puts the hand right here on the shoulder, and he kind of goes, if I can replicate it, Sterling, goes like that. and it's more of a pat, more of respect, but also proud. Okay, and he says, "You tell this boy of mine I love him." Okay, you give this boy of mine my love. All right, and one other thing I want to say, you guys, at times I don't give eye contact. Don't take it personal. It has nothing to do with either one of you. It's just the way that I work. But when he pats the shoulder there with you, Sterling, it's very quick. It's almost like he doesn't want to keep his hand on the shoulder too long. No offense. It's just pat, pat. I'm here. Respect and give this boy of mine my love. Okay, he puts his hand right here. Also, too, he looks at you and he shows me the starting line, and he says, "You're only just starting. You're only just starting," meaning whatever has been accomplished or whatever you've done or whatever, that's all in the past. This is the starting point. This year, and next year is the starting point. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay. Usually they don't come through and talk about business or finances or things like that. Sometimes they do, all right? But when he stands here, he shows me a little bit of a smirk, a little bit of a smile, and I asked him, I says, "What's that for?" And he says, "I can't believe I'm doing this," he says. And he refers to coming and doing something like this, all right? But he looks at you and he says, "I know he would do something like this," but he says, "I can't believe I'm doing something like this," all right? So that's a little bit of the smirk about that, okay? Also, what he does is he gives a kiss right here to the temple, and he says, "Remember when you guys were boys." Something about boys. Sterling, is there one other brother besides you?
Not that I know.
Okay, that's fine. Boys. So it's going back to either playing with a cousin, okay, or cousins or something like that. But he goes, "Remember the memories when you guys were boys." So we'll come back to that in a bit. All right, fine. The other thing too, when he puts his hand right here in the chest, okay, he keeps putting his hand right here. I don't know if it's the lung that was problem before passing or even the heart. But when he puts his hand right here, he just shows me something like infection or something like this that he passes from or problem. Prior to his passing, was there anything to do with his heart or anything to do right here with the breathing or chest or lungs before he passed?
No, not prior to.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. What about at the time of passing? Okay, look where my hands are right here. And what I have is I have 5 fingers right here, and I keep on pointing like a puncture. Okay? So you can say not prior to, maybe at the time. Okay? Because I just feel right here with him like a bowling ball sitting on my chest right here. It's just like a heaviness. And what he's doing is he's influencing that here in today's sitting to let me know what was going on in him prior to his passing. And when I say prior, when I get prior, I'm not talking about like a month or two before. I'm talking prior, like a minute before or 2 minutes before or something like that. Okay? So in this area right here. So when he does that, it's just his way to give validation who he is. The next thing he does is after he says that, he does the smirk. It's not so much of a smirk, but it's a half smile. And he just shakes his head left to right with a laugh. And he goes, "I still can't believe I'm doing this. I still can't believe I'm doing this," because he looks at me and he goes, "Well, kid," and he looks at me as a kid. And he goes, "Well, kid, you see me?" And he goes,